on the set. RV Roof Install Video Productions. I don't even know what we got here, but it's old and it needs a new roof. Hence its appearance here. Also has a panel on the other side that's damaged. And one of the fenders right there on the other side is, I think it blew a tire. Here it is, Country Air by Newmar. What are we gonna be into for this? Dun, 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 dun. Alright, luggage rails coming off. See the coating? This is why we don't do coatings. Coatings don't work. Somebody got their money though. So there's a membrane roof, there's a rubber roof. So you can see how they just kept putting more on, more on. Gee whiz. That over there, huh? Yeah, well you weigh 422 pounds, what do you expect it to do? Like 150 with sand in his pockets.
Yeah, that's wavy.
Alright, so there's all the stuff that I came up here earlier and because I had to make a curb for it and I wanted to get some measurements. But man, they had this thing all mounted up. Mounted up. There's just something wrong with that system. If you think about it, how many times you got to come up here and keep, if it worked, we'll say it worked, and you put a layer on there, and then you say, hey, you need to put another layer on there, and you put another 1/4 of an inch, and you do that, what, we'll say 4 times a year, because that's what they recommend, every 3 months. That's an inch a year of caulking. Within 3 years, you can have 3 inches of caulking built up on this thing, if it all worked, right? And then where does the water go? It doesn't make sense. It's just not the way a flat roof or a low slope roof functions. They need to be up on curbs. And if it was that case where you didn't need the curbs, all these commercial buildings that you see, these big ones like, you know, McKee Foods, Little Debbie's there, you know, that's a big plant. Even some of the, you know, car plants, Chrysler, Ford, Dodge, and all that. And these big processing like Nestle and Hershey. And anyhow, my point is, curbs, all these protrusions, these are called detail. Detail, detail, detail. All of that accounts for like 65% of the roof cost. You know how much money they'd be saving if they didn't have to do that? Oh, all I had to do was just put some booger on it, slap her down, and put some self-leveling on there. That would be easy peasy. So, and you can see like right here on the air conditioner, see how low the air conditioner is? You already got a leaf right there, but all the debris, there's just a foam gasket up underneath there. All that debris gets up underneath there, it dries your gasket out. Once it dries your gasket out and it's not flexible, or and the water gets in there and you start getting leaks around everything. So, you know, that again, you need a curb. Need a curb. So we've got that antenna over there around you. There it is, Country Air. So you've got one of these antennas like this. We're gonna end up, if we don't replace it, we're gonna remove it anyways. Make sure this is sealed. Water will come down that wire. Well, obviously someone put a good amount of booger on there. Doesn't sound too bad. The deck doesn't sound too bad except for that rotted area down there that we were just showing you. But again, sometimes you don't know until you open it up and you go, oh, you didn't feel that underneath this or that. So, you know, you can see all it's a hot mess. So anyways, we're gonna make it look pretty. That's what we do. Jazz it up, make it look pretty. And I only got one air conditioning unit for this big coach like this. So, all right, well, let us get to work, start taking it apart. We're gonna see what we can come up with. If we can salvage the shoulders, we will. If we can't, then we won't, I guess, right? Make some new ones. But I like to try to see if I can, you know, save everybody some money. And then these gutters here, they don't look too bad. A little narrow, but got a little squirreliness already down there. Kind of dips in there. So, all right, well, let us get to work and we shall show you our progress. That's how they say it in Canada. It's progress. Well, looky there. You got a whole bunch of insulation in there. I don't know if there's been some rodents in there or not, but that's unusual. Got some dirt daubers. That's pretty common. You see any like nuts or you know, remnants of food or shells or anything are in there like that? I'm just curious. Because you're not supposed to have all that insulation up in there.
It's been chewed up. You can tell.
It's been chewed up. Okay. Did it bite you?
No.
It's still in there?
I had something moving.
Chicken shit.
I don't like.
It's just a little mouse.
Yeah, well.
You can just eat them up. Alright. We'll see what up when we take the air conditioner loose. Alright, so here's some of the rot we had. Right here. That's still wet. That is all soaked. Insulation is soaked. It's just on the surface, so that's a well, oh, it looks like some of it got down into the ceiling. So whatever's wet, we're taking up. Of course, get fans on there. Yep. Some dampness in here. You can see it all right there.
Ooh. Underneath the top line.
What you got?
Wet spot underneath the top line.
Yeah. We got to dry all this out real good. All right, then. What else did I see? What else did I see? Is it from? This is where the antenna was. Nope, the antenna was right there. There's something here.
There's a broken antenna.
Oh, there was an antenna here, yeah. That die-core stuff don't work. Most of the time, I'm surprised you don't see more damage. I really am. Obviously, this is all rotted. This isn't wet though, so that's a plus. They used a, this is actually a ceiling panel. That's what they used to put on here. That's real thin. That's a ceiling panel, like to inside. It's like 1/8 inch. Looks like they put 2 layers on here. That's what they did. They double layered it. You can see it right here. All right. That's crazy. Okay, and then the other thing they did on this air unit, if you look right here, those bolt holes, there's one there, one right there, and one right here. They put those on the outside of the air conditioner, and then what they do is they just goober some caulking around it. You can see some light water stain. It just hadn't gone all the way through, but it's just light. But that's not the right way to do it. So when we build our curves for this one, I modify it so you can actually screw it down from the top like it should be bolted down, and then if somebody comes back to service it, they can do the same thing and put it right back, and it'll all be with machine screws instead of these lag bolts, because those lag bolts, what they're going to do is just waller out, and they just loosen up. And they're only going through this little bit of wood. That's not enough bite for the air conditioner, taking all that brunt of air, the vibration of the unit actually itself moving while it's running. But then you got all that air, that excuse me, that air coming at it, the wind, that's all going to kind of have a play in it. So like I said, I redesigned the curves for these kinds of what I call roof mounts. I mean, obviously they're all mounted on the roof, but on the other ones, most of the other ones, the travel trailer, you would just have the ductwork would go over that way, and then the air would come down and go around. Where this goes directly in. So if you go inside this coach and look up at the ceiling, you're not going to see a filter box. You're not going to see lower controls or anything like that. You're just going to see just the ceiling. So, so we got a new curve made up for it, and then we're going to rip this up and see what we got underneath it. Hopefully everything else is pretty decent. Quiet on the set. Hey, you pipe down. All right. So you got everything all dried out, and now what we're doing is making sure. So like this fine gentleman right here, he is putting some protective pieces over the ductwork, because those wires there's just foam. Just those wires bouncing, they actually create a hole in the foam. Also, we're going to be taping up, like you can see that joint right there is starting to get compromised. We're going to tape that up, and then we're going to go and look for any electrical that may be in the way, See, let me show you on this one. See, look at that one dug in there. So that's why he's putting these little, only are just a piece of aluminum to protect it. We zip tie it, kind of like that, just to hold it in place. And that's about us. So right now, then we'll go around, we just kind of shake and move around all these trusses and check all that. We'll vacuum all this nonsense up. We got rid of all the insulation because we did find some issues with some rodent stuff. So, you know, there were some issues there, so we just wanted to put in clean insulation. You can see this one's all broke right there. All your cold air is coming up basically in the attic area. So you got to get the insulation in here. And did you say there was an area where you saw that a mouse got in or something? Ah, right here. There it is right there. So they chewed into there. And then we may do a little further investigation in there. But otherwise, if we come up with something, we'll show you. Looks like we got a little bit of mouse feces in there. That's what that is right there. Caca. So I wanted to open this up. We're going to open them up periodically now that I know that. And I want to make sure it's all vacuumed out. I'll probably throw some disinfectant in there too. I don't want all that. The other thing I'm trying to do is I want to get an endoscope or something up inside there. I want to make sure that if a mouse did get in there, I want to make sure he's not dead in there. Who wants that blowing in their face, right? So we're probably going to take the time to do that. And I'd feel better. We'll just tape all that up. It's just foam anyways. So what we're doing now is this is an endoscope. And I just want to see what's down inside there. And you can see down there, this is the endoscope here. So what we're trying to do is just see what is in there, if anything, and then we're going to clean these out. So far, we have not seen nothing there, except for the mouse turd on the other side. So we'll check it out. All right, so what we did, we got the insulation in, but we made cuts every other bay. That's what we did there. Sliced it open, and then we sprayed disinfectant all in and vacuumed it all out. So every other one's done, so we could reach in this way and that way. So now obviously we got the insulation on, and we're going to start getting some decking on this thing. So then over here we're going to put in the batten insulation right here, so all this blown in doesn't go down. And we're going to do the same to the front, so it doesn't run down the front cap. Keep that all blocked out. Well, we got some decking going on. We got everything all glued. You can see the glue there. We're getting it all screwed down. So we're going to get this all done. Then we can start putting a roof on it. We are satisfied with everything underneath. So let's rock and roll. You can see all the glue we got up on here. All right, put our strips on, all that stuff. We're working at it. Quiet on the set, quiet on the set. All right, we've got this passenger side already glued, rolled. You can see we got all our protective strips down there. And we are ready to roll this out. And then we go over it with another roller. Where's the big roller? You got the big roller. We go over it with the big roller and pack her down and start getting this thing put together. Now we roll it with Big Bertha. Big old roller, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There we go. Well, we're done with the roof on our Country Aire. Country with a K. All right, so we got our logo up here. We put that up there so one, we can monitor if the roof is having issues. You know, it's all under warranty. This is a 20-year roof system. So when the customer comes back and we see something unusual, we can go, hey, when do we put this roof on? It could be 5-10 years from now, whatever. So, or if he goes to sell the coach, you know, RV roofs as a rule, you know, all the other ones, they're junk. So I don't want someone trying to talk him down saying, hey, we need to talk this guy down because this is going to need a roof. It's still under warranty, you see. So we got them on there. Then again, going back to, this is a 60 mil commercial grade membrane. It's a TPO, which stands for thermoplastic. This is the same exact membrane that you're going to see on an office building, on a library, on a restaurant. Okay, that's the same exact. I buy it from a supply house, a commercial supply house. So that's what it is. Let's see if I got a piece here. This is what we use. And you can see those little squares in there. That's a mesh. You can actually see some of the fibers right here on the end, right here. And that's a reinforcement. And that resists hail, tree branches, things like that. So it's a really, really strong system. We take a lot to puncture this. Cleaning, simple green. You can use, you know, dish soap, whatever. You can take it to a truck wash, have them pressure wash it if you want. So anyhow, that's obviously we got the roof done. You saw the way we got all that. We got all our curbs in here. And these are all custom made. I make everything is all custom made for this roof. You can't buy these. I custom make everything so the form and function is proper on an RV. If you were to Google commercial roof images, you will see like skylights, you'll see like air conditioners and plumbing, and all. You'll see these things elevated up off the roof line. And then anything that protrudes like a pipe, or, you know, in this case, like these vents, you'll see them in a boot. You'll see electrical coming out in a boot. All that stuff will be done. That's the proper way to do a roof. So we have other videos up there that have had spray on, and it doesn't work. If it worked, I'd buy the machine. So when we did commercial work, I had machines, and those machines are expensive. Yes, they're $25,000, $30,000, but you need them to do the job correctly. If the spray on roofs worked that well, I would just buy the machine and spray it. It doesn't. That's why I don't do it. So anyhow, we've got a new vent here for the refrigerator, and again, all this is all welded. That's all heat welded. It's not glued down there. This is all heat welded. You take a special hot air gun and you put so much heat to it, it literally fuses the plastic. If you've ever taken a piece of plastic and fused it, like maybe a pair of sunglasses that may have broken for one of your kids or something, sometimes you can warm them up and just put the little end on it, and it'll fuse right back. So you can see we've got these stands in the back. It just helps keep some balance on the air conditioner. And then in the front, we've got a piece of counter flash up here, and the purpose of that counter flash is when the rain comes down, so up underneath here is a foam gasket, that's it. So when the rain comes down, I don't want it to get down on the bottom side and the wind blow it back into the gasket. So I put this on here so it gets it lower than our counter flash. And there's a piece of counter flash that I put in here on all of them. So now that piece that's up there is lower, so it'll clear this, and then it rolls out, okay? So, obviously he probably should have put some new vents on there, but that wasn't in the work order. So we just, we'll put them on if we have more if the customer wants them, but if they operate and everything, and you probably just may want to put a cover on that. You'd never see it anyways, and that's a special cover. So we don't keep them in stock. We always have trouble trying to find those. So obviously same thing with the air horns. We got those. We've washed this roof a couple times already, but we've been working and all the dust got it back up on here. So normally it's spick and span, but you can see we got the boots for the air horns as well. We got some special bolt mounts. Those are all galvanized, so we don't have any issues with those rusting. Then we did the same with the antenna right here, that special boot, and we moved the light a little bit up forward like that, so get it out of the way instead of trying to make a boot for it. There's that's a special, that sealant is like an adhesive sealant. All the stuff we use is all commercial grade. There is no RV stuff on this coach at all that we use. So we've got all that together. Then we've got insert trim. I'll show you what that's like, and I'll even show you over here in a second. I'll go over there now, I guess. So we got a skylight right here, and the problem with these skylights is the condensation, or let's say the frost, gets on the top, especially in the cooler seasons about now. And then when the sun comes up, it will evaporate that off. But up underneath, there's still that frost, and it won't be able to get evaporated out. So what happens is it condenses, hence condensation, and then it'll roll down the lens, and you'll see, like around your skylight, you'll have rotted wood, or it may even go as far into the ceiling as well. So what this is a solar fan. So now when the sun comes up to evaporate this off, that solar fan kicks on. And when that kicks on, this is draw. It'll draw it right up and through. That's the whole idea. Keep that constant air circulation, get rid of that condensation. And that's a plumbing right there. So if this does fail, if it fails, meaning if the cap comes off, maybe that's more specific. If the cap comes off, take the plumbing and put it on here, because it will leak inside. So keep that in mind. It will leak inside. If these plumbing caps fall off, that's no big deal, because those are sealed, and any water that gets in that pipe will go down into your holding tank. But this, it's open, so it will leak in there. So as you can see, we don't put any screws in here. Everything's all glued down. We don't. I got rid of all those because these things are real fickle. I've drilled them out over the years. And then you have to make sure that screw is absolutely in the center of that hole, so when this thing expands and contracts, that it's not pushing or pulling against that screw shank. So we've always had issues with them, so now I just glue them down. I've been doing that for a long time. I've never had an issue with them now. They're done. So we've got all that, and again, so we're all set with that. Let me show you this is the new insert trim that we use. We don't sell anything. Keep that in mind. We don't sell anything. We're not maybe a sales shop where we don't sell any products at all. This isn't a DIY channel. If you get some tips out of it, great. But you know, we put these together so the customer can see all the work we did for them. So in keeping that in mind, I want to thank the customer for bringing it to us. We appreciate the work, and we take our time to do it properly. Let me show you this right here. I'll show you the insert trim and what we use. So this is your typical insert trim. And see how that just slides? It just sits inside that track. And then what I don't like is when it's up this way, water can get down in that track down there and it can travel. I don't like that. So what I did, I got this here, and I don't know if you can see that little channel groove in there. It goes inside, and so this little channel right here where my thumb is, that little channel sits in that tiny groove. So now you got sealing on the inside and on the outside. So now the water will just roll off into the gutter, which is what I like, and it keeps it sealed a lot better. And again, we don't sell any of this. The truth of the matter is I have to buy this thing in massive quantities, literally 2 miles of it. So, but again, we just don't sell anything here. So keep that all in mind. So again, we want to thank the customer for bringing this in. Now, the way the warranty works is this is a 20-year system. And this is the way with all warranties, not just the manufacturer's warranty. I'll go over this in a second. So understand that even Dicor, anybody has they'll say the material, the actual roof membrane, like the piece that I showed you, that is warranted for 20 years, not to fail. That's what it is, period. They don't know who's installing this, so they can't do the labor part. So we extend our warranty to say, hey, bring this in, let us take a look at it. We like to see it 30 days, at most 60 days, and the purpose for that is I want to see it move. I want to see it, you know, go down the road, flex a little bit, then we come back and we check everything on here. Check all the caulking, all the welds, we check everything, make sure everything is tight. It's fresh, it's new, let me take a look at it. You know, you brought it here so we could do a good job, and the only way I can ensure that you get a good job is if I can see it after it moves. And again, we'll go over everything. After that, you come back once a year. So, and your warranty is contingent upon these inspections. So, you know, if you're out somewhere and you're like, I'll never be able to go back there, then, you know, we'd be glad to put the roof on it for you, and we'll do it right, and we'll go over all the things you can look for. But we don't want anybody to get, you know, upset or anything and say, hey, you know, this happened or that happened, when, you know, it's something we could have fixed real simply by doing an initial inspection. So if I were to go out and get another country Aire like this, same year, same model, same everything, it's going to rack and twist and flex differently, and I want to make sure we've addressed all those problems. So I don't know how much that'll flex, I don't know, but again, we'll go around and double check everything to make sure we got everything. It's just a prudent idea. It's just smart. Don't take inspections for granted. So that being said, that's how the warranty works with us. I don't want anybody to roll out of here and not have a warranty on these things, but again, the only way I can warranty them is if I can see it. So and that's about the gist of the warranty. Again, I already went over all the cleaning and everything. So then afterwards, I got one panel to put down here, and that panel is all damaged, so we're going to put that panel on. And on the bottom, he blew a tire down here, so we just got to put that on there. But otherwise, we're done, and we'll see you on the next package. Right. So in our care package, we have caulking, we got primer, we have got 2 patches. Those are heat patches. We got a patch peel and stick patch. We got a checker tool. We've got a magnet. And the rest of this is just pens, keychains, brush, nozzle. Okay, so if we have a hole in the roof, it will simulate a hole. You can do hole simulations. We say we got a hole there. Here's your tree branch come through, and you're like, oh man, I got a hole in my roof, it's leaking. So what you want to do, and it's raining out. Right now it's raining, you're like, crap, I gotta stop that leak. You want to get in there, and if you can't get that nozzle in there, don't worry about it. Make it a little bigger.
you try and do, you need to get up underneath the roofing, like this. This is what we need to do, get up underneath the roofing. Then you're going to take and you're going to put this up inside there, and you're going to squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hopefully this thing is plugged up. There it goes. You squeeze, squeeze. You want to try and get up underneath this part too. Squeeze up underneath there. Put some more underneath there. Well, we are getting this thing all boogered up. Then what we're going to do, you're going to push it together. See how it oozes out? That's sealed. You're done. This is a moisture cured product. So what? It's a hot mess. Looks terrible. Who cares? Keep the water out. So now, the next day, you're going to go up there, and that's going to be cured looking like that. So we're going to take a knife, and you just shave it down. Just shave it down with a knife. I'm just going to obviously wipe this off. Now you say, hey, I want something a little better than that. So what we're going to do is get some cleaner. This is a terrible rag. You got another one. You got one on you? Oh, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag. What you gonna talk about, man? Nope, just leave it alone. Oh, leave it alone right now. We're recording now? Are we on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Alright, so now we cleaned it off with a knife. I just washed that off because it's still wet. Take that off. So now we got a patch. This is a peel and stick patch. We're going to take that, we're going to center it over there. Just take a pen and go around like this. I like to kind of put a dash like that so I know who's where, what, and where, and how. So now there's what I got. So in the package we got primer. We also have a brush. You're going to take that, you're going to go all inside the square. And you're also going to go outside this square about 3/8 of an inch. Outside about 3/8 of an inch or so. Once you get that, there's a film on the back. You peel the film, now you know which side you are, see, because there's your marks. And you peel that film back. Get the fingers, fat fingers in there to get the film off of this thing. This is just a regular roof tape. That's all it is. We put them in all the care packages. Get that daggone thing off of there. Probably need some fingernails. Probably help. Come on. There it is. Okay. Oop, hit, there it is. Now you got the film. We'll take that film. So now we're going to line it back up with this. We already got the primer under there. You just peel the film back, and as you do, you just rub it down like this. Sometimes that film will get a little stuck in there. This is just a butyl. You just kind of try to keep it as even as you can and flat as you can. Boom, you're done. There it is. So now, out here, this is where your primer is. You put the primer on there. You got primer there, and now you're going to put primer here. You want to prime all this area with your brush. Prime all that. Then you're going to come back. Once you get it all primed, then you're going to put a little bit of caulking on it, just like this. That's simple. If it doesn't all sit in there, you can always take your finger and go around it if you want. We're trying to obviously stop a leak and make one of, there's going to be a little more permanent of a patch than just that plug that we did when it was raining. So now that we got that all done, the whole purpose of it is this part here, this part underneath here, that's a butyl. When the sun hits that, if you didn't have the caulking on there, it will cause it to release and curl up just like I'm doing here. And it'll start coming loose. That's why you need the primer. That's why when you prime it, you're going to prime on top of this because nothing will stick to it. Nothing, the caulking will not stick to this patch, and it won't stick to the roof unless you use the primer. That's how you do a patch. Ta-da! All done.